If you use caffeine, it's zapping your energy and it is only going to get worse over time. Today, I share with you 4 different reasons how it does this and how you can stop this domino effect.
You're watching the Dr. Jake podcast.
I'm Dr. Jake. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor and integrative physician in Salt Lake City, Utah. On this channel, I'll share with you how you can heal your body naturally and get your energy back without any harmful drugs or surgery. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. I recently filmed a podcast with my co-host, Teresa Marie, in which we talked about caffeine and how it actually is making your energy worse. Make sure you stick around till the end because we're going to be able to talk about what is a great alternative to caffeine. So what caffeine does is it stimulates our stress response. And if you really think about it, whenever you get stressed, it's actually stimulating you and getting all your energy pathways working better. So what it does is it increases cortisol, it increases dopamine, and increases serotonin. It also helps release sugar into our bloodstream. So that's how it's increasing that boost, giving us that little lift of making us feel better is through stimulating all of these stress hormones, which are not necessarily good or bad, but if we stimulate them too much, it could be a problem.
That makes sense. And so we're going to start seeing how this affects, stress hormones affect so many things, not just physical energy. And so, you have a list here about how this is actually going to affect not just your energy, but also your body. Can you walk us through what that process looks like? Because my 16-year-old, he could be drinking caffeine and I'm not seeing energy issues with him, but what's actually happening to his body before that even happens?
So what is happening before any type of long-term issues happen, and how this can lead to energy issues, even if you aren't depleted of energy yet, that can happen from caffeine, that we're going to talk about just in a little bit, is that it can lead to anxiety, because what it's doing is increasing too much stimulation of our brain. And when we stimulate our brain too much, it's going to make our brain fire too much, and then we're going to become more anxious. And then what this can do is also make us not be able to sleep very well at night. It's not that you just drink caffeine right before you go to sleep, you're not going to be able to sleep. Even taking it in the morning, it stimulates overstimulation of those brain pathways, and then you're going to have a lot of difficulty sleeping at nighttime. Also affects the regulation of your heart rate and your heartbeat. It makes it go too fast, and it's not as efficient, so it's not going to be able to pump that blood as efficiently throughout your body to get that oxygen delivery very well. In the very beginning, it will, but if you keep on taking it for a while, it's going to cause dysregulation, not effective high increased heart rate. It's just going to have dysregulation like arrhythmias, which is then going to lead to a lot of fatigue because you're not going to get good oxygen supply throughout your body. Also, what happens is it releases a lot of sugar, especially from your liver because of that cortisol release, and that makes your blood sugar levels too high. That will lead to inflammation throughout your body and lead to damage to your brain, your heart, your kidneys, or many other, and all the cells throughout your body, and not be able to function as well. Also, you're going to have these big crashes of your blood sugar that happen, or crashes of all these stress hormones, and that's going to make you feel horrible. And then you're going to have to pound more caffeine because of that.
So it seems like there's so much that's going to happen prior to that. So wherever you're at in your process of drinking caffeine, whether it's been for a year or whether you've been drinking caffeine for 20 years, there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of symptoms that start to happen. Yeah. But after your body has gone through it, this cortisol's come in, it's affected our anxiety levels, it's affected our sleep, it's affected our gut. All of these other things have happened. Then how does it eventually start actually depleting us of our energy sources?
So what happens over time, and this is different for every person. Maybe you're drinking tons of caffeine for just a month or maybe for a year or two. What it's going to do is it's going to decrease all our awesome stress hormones that we love to make energy throughout our body. It's going to start decreasing our cortisol function, our serotonin, our dopamine. And then that's going to make us feel tired all the time because we need these certain hormones in our body to be able to function appropriately. So it's going to lead to adrenal fatigue. Adrenal fatigue is when you're not making enough cortisol, or you have an imbalance of your cortisol. You're producing cortisol at nighttime when you're not supposed to, and not making cortisol in the morning. Or you just have way too little cortisol all the time. You're not going to be able to get that boost of energy, focus, concentration that comes from cortisol. You're not going to be able to release that sugar that we need at the appropriate time, so you're able to maintain your energy levels throughout your body. It's going to lead to you becoming more depressed because of the decrease of the serotonin and dopamine, which is then going to make you feel like you don't want to do things or be motivated to do certain activities throughout the day. So you're just not going to do things which, like exercise, for example, is going to increase your energy levels, but you're just not going to really feel like that anymore. But once your adrenal glands get depleted, actually exercise doesn't help at all either. You just feel way worse after exercise. So it just depletes you way too much. It depletes all these stress hormones throughout our body. And another thing is we're not going to be able to sleep very well because we're not making enough serotonin, which needs to get converted into melatonin. So those are all the things that happen when we are pounding the caffeine for too long. We're drinking too much coffee or drinking too many Monsters or energy drinks. Over time, it's going to deplete us, and it's not going to make us have more energy. And that's what it does. Caffeine does not give us energy. It doesn't do that. It actually uses the stores and certain mechanisms of action in our body to make energy production. So if you keep on taking something that doesn't give you energy, but it just uses your stores, you're just going to get depleted. The whole storage is going to be gone, and now you don't have any more energy, and caffeine's not going to do a thing for your energy levels. And then it takes a really long time to get that energy levels back because you depleted your body so much.
And to be able to get those energy levels back, it's not going to be through caffeine, because caffeine only empties your cup. That's all it does.
Yeah.
And when your cup becomes empty, the only way that you're going to be able to rebuild it up is through time and through changing your lifestyle, changing how you're eating, what supplements you're taking, and so forth. It's going to take time. And if you're continuing to take caffeine during that time, you're just going against all the work that you're doing to try to fill your cup back up. So there are other ways to have energy that, yes, it empties your cup, but it's filling it at the same time so that you're continually having of energy, feeling good, chasing it the way that Dr. Jake is describing. And I know that I have experienced this as coffee for the day, and I'm going, why am I still tired? But I feel like wired but tired. Like that stuff starts to happen. That's a big sign, like it ain't working anymore. Your cup is empty, right? So long-term effects, we can see how this damages just so many different things. I can see how this can start affecting weight loss or weight gain. I can see how this can start affecting hormones in other areas of your body because of how cortisol plays a role in just so many different things in our bodies. And we can see how this just can create a vicious cycle that just makes us feel not like ourselves again, right? So overview with us, like what can we do instead? I know we can dig this into much more detail on future episodes, but what are some overall things we can do instead that can fill our energy cup, not deplete our energy cup?
So this is a very broad term. There's so many different things that we do to help people with their energy production. So we need to find out what's really making you tired. Why did you start drinking caffeine in the first place? Maybe you're just feeling really tired in the morning. We need to find out what's the reason for that. Maybe it's hormonal imbalances. Maybe it's from a poor diet. Maybe it's from eating too much sugar. Maybe it's from a food sensitivity. Maybe it's from toxic exposures, and on and on and on. There's all kinds of things, or certain bugs or stuff like that. We've talked about this a little bit in other episodes. But to make it really easy is there are things that you can take that are going to actually increase energy production in your body and make your cells work better instead of just deplete your body. For example, we have several different mushrooms like cordyceps mushroom, which increases your oxygen consumption inside your cells. So that's just a fancy way of saying making your cells actually work better and make energy production. So it's not using something inside your body. It's just making that cell actually use the oxygen better, more efficiently, so it's able to make ATP better throughout your body. Reishi mushroom does this also. We talked about lion's mane, how this can decrease unstable molecules inside our cells, which bogs down how our cells work too. So we could take certain mushrooms like cordyceps and reishi and lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. We could take certain adaptogens like ashwagandha and ginseng, which will help stimulate your adrenal function. That will increase it when it's needed and decrease your cortisol function when you need it. Also, cordyceps and reishi are great adaptogens throughout the body. So a lot of my patients were coming in my office that were really tired and not sleeping very well and all kinds of things, and they were pounding the caffeine because they were tired. They were doing caffeine. It gave them that little lift, but it wasn't very enduring. And I would talk to them and be like, hey, that caffeine is actually giving you adrenal fatigue. You already have adrenal fatigue, and it's just making it worse and worse and worse. We really need to find a different option. But back in the day, I just didn't really have something that would be a great alternative for them. Alternative to caffeine. I could be like, hey, we need to stop the coffee or energy drinks, and I would give them certain supplements, but I didn't have something to substitute to give them that warm drink or something like that in the morning to use to be able to increase the energy. So I created a product called TerraBrew, which has the mushrooms that I talked about and the ginseng and the ashwagandha in there to actually get that energy working better. So you actually make all your cells work better and doesn't deplete your body. And also what happens, it's a great health drink too, because we've talked about a lot of the mushrooms in previous podcasts, how it decreases inflammation, blood sugar support, increases focus, concentration, and all kinds of different things that are just generally healthy that you can start your morning on the right foot.
And we're going to put a link in the show notes below. It's actually Terra Brew spelled TerraBrew is the creative spelling here for terrabrew.com. We'll make sure and put that in there so you can try it out. Let us know, for those of you who end up trying it, let us know, how did it make you feel? I've been taking it as well, and it's been a great substitute for coffee, which is my caffeine of choice. But I know there's other people out there who don't drink coffee, that you might prefer sodas or energy drinks and so forth. And I think this is a really powerful tool. And also for those people out there who are taking energy supplements for weight loss, I see a lot of these supplements out there that's claiming that's going to help you lose weight. And when you look at the ingredients, it's just full of caffeine. And then, you're working out, just like Dr. Jake was talking about, you're exercising and you're wondering, what the heck is the problem? Why am I not losing weight when I'm doing all of these healthy things? I think this drink, taking mushrooms and other types of supplements that he talks about, would be a great replacement for some of those weight loss energy drinks. And it tastes good too. So we'll make sure and put that in there. Let us know what you think. We're going to be digging into this topic of energy, how it relates to the root causes. Dr. Jake talks about, what is the root cause of why were you even going to caffeine in the first place, right? So, taking supplements and so forth is great. It's helpful in us getting our energy back, but combining that with a doctor's, analysis on what's the root problem in the first place, and being able to address those issues, whether it's some sort of viral infection or an autoimmune condition or something else that's happening, working with those together can actually get you to a place where you're just in balance, you're feeling like yourself again, and you're living a long and healthy life, right? Which is what we all want, right?
If you want to learn more how to get your energy back, click the videos to the right. I'm Dr. Jake, and I'll see you there.